Hello and welcome to another Modern Toy Fair review. Today I'm taking a look at the Loyal Subjects BST AXN SDCC exclusive TMNT IDW Turtles. Man, these names are just getting longer and longer. This review will be of all 4 turtles rather than splitting it up into 4 reviews, so it is going to be a long one, so make sure to get yourself a snack and a comfy seat. But as always, make sure to let me know in the comments below what your thoughts and feelings are. If you picked these up, if you're holding off and getting the regular versions that have less paint apps, let me know. And don't forget to stick around to the end of the video to see all the photos I took. But that's enough chatter chatter. Let's go ahead and get at her. Alright, let's get started with Leo. So we've got this great sculpt here at the head. You've got all these wrinkles and line work in the brow line. You've got the white eyes. You've got the tattering at the top of the mask. You've got the teeth here in the mouth. You've got even like a little snout with some wrinkles there at the mask. And then goes back, you got spots on the back of his head. You've got the tails to his mask, which have some great wash to bring out the details, and the tattering at the ends, which looks fantastic. Bring him back to the front here. I'll go down. Got a bunch of great sculpt for his neck and collarbone. But you'll notice here at like the shoulder, mine's all jacked up. So it came this way, and unfortunately that means the butterfly joint doesn't stay in properly. And then you'll notice on this other shoulder, the wash started to scrape off, which sucks. But going anywhere to the biceps, you've got some really good sculpt there. And this is what I really like is the arm, like forearm guards. And the straps, like they're different, like they're made to look like a different texture than the wraps, which I already love the way the wraps look on the turtles. And especially like the difference between that and the fingers. They really did a great job. This is not what I expected from this line. And then speaking of textures, you've got the leather straps for his belt look fantastic against the shell of all the scrapes and cuts and stuff. You've got all these pouches and straps on the belt, and you can see some different texturing there as well. Going down further to the legs. Now the legs I do feel are a little over sculpted. Like I don't think you need that much muscle, but it's not terrible. And then you go down to the shins, and that's where the wraps start again. And they just did a really good job with the wraps. They look really good. You can see them goes down between the toes there. Bottom of the feet, though, are just green, which is kind of surprising. I figured they would do that in like that brownish gray. All right, back of the head here. Better look at those spots I mentioned earlier. I'm going to pop this off so you can see it better. So you see little spots there. Pop that back in. And then you've got the shell, which has some scrapes and cuts on it. Has those little circle lines in each of the spots. Looks really good. Also looks like it's a different plastic than the rest of the figure. And then we have the scabbards for his katanas, which look great. I like that brown and some of the wash. However, mine, once again, more issues, came broken. So you can see that's glued back together because I pulled them out of the box and that was just laying in it. Then we get to the back of the belt. More pouches with the little buttons on. I wish the buttons would have been painted. And then we got his little shell butt. His pouches on the other side. More muscles in the legs. Not as bad as the front. And then the back of the lower legs with the wraps. And so, yeah, really impressed with Leo. All right, let's get him out of the way so we can bring Donnie up here. So let me get him all fixed and ready to go. There he is. And raise the camera up because he's a little bit taller, which is a nice change of pace for turtle figures. So you'll notice his head's also a different shape. You do have the kind of scrunched up brow line and the nicks in his mask. Got the wide eyes peering from that purple, which I love. You've got the teeth gritting there. He's very angry. He's got a lot more nicks in his mask than Leo did. And then you also have the tails back here, which his, I feel like, are made from different material because they do not stay in as well and they feel more brittle. He also doesn't have as much wash on them, and they look almost a different purple, which is kind of weird. But I'm going to take them out here so you can see his have a lot more tattering at the ends, which I like. Kind of brings out the detail a little better, and I just kind of generally like the way they look. I just wish they fit better and didn't feel weird. So then you got the collarbone and the neck, which is about the same. except for not jacked up like Leo's. Shoulder definition, smaller biceps because, you know, he's the tech guy. Then you have these like elbow brace, elbow pads, a little cut out at the elbow, going down to the wraps, which I do like the white wraps better because I feel like they're more matte and the aesthetic looks nicer. The detail's fantastic. And then we have the front of the shell, which isn't as beat up as Leo's. You've got the straps. I wish that buckle would have been painted silver, going down to his belt, which has all sorts of straps and pouches. And then you go down the rest of his shell into his legs, which are a little skinnier. Got knee pads to match the elbow pads. And then you have the wraps around the legs, which are a little heavier around the toes, which is kind of a nice little detail. I feel like that's how it is in the comics, which is kind of cool. And then cut out at the heel. So let's bring him around this way. You've got the back of the head with the spots, and then, oh, how did I not notice his shell's armored? I literally posed this for pictures and never realized that. That is awesome. You got the bolts and all sorts of scratches and that silver. That looks amazing. That's so cool. So this is after Rocksteady like crushed him. But yes, that's really cool. And also you have the pouches, and then you have a little holster for his bow staff, which slides in there. And then you have the legs going down to the wraps and the feet. So yeah, I still can't get over that shell. Holy shit. All right, next up, we're gonna have Mikey. Let me pull him up here and bring the camera down because he's a little bit shorter. So first you'll notice he's a different shade of green. He's more of like a teal. And you'll see he's got this really deep, like kind of V going in the mask there with the tatteredness and his scowl. And then the wash going through the back, bringing out the line work, those wide eyes, the teeth. Everything just looks fantastic. You got the shorter tails to his mask. They're all tattered. You can see him there. Also a different shade of orange, which is kind of weird. But yeah, it looks really good. You get down to the arms. A lot skinnier. You have the beefier elbow pads, though. You've got more of those wraps like what Donnie has with the white. A little bit thicker, a little more matte against the green there. Then you'll see the chest plate. Some of the wash from the green got on the chest plate, which sucks. But he's got a lot more kind of scuffs than Donnie did. He does have these pouches up front. I don't know what they're for because the nunchucks don't fit in them. Well, at least not like both of them. Then you go down to the legs, which are a little skinnier like Donnie's. Beefier knee pads, like on the elbow pads. Let's see there, wraps around. And then you get down to the wraps, which, again, I love the way the white looks because it's got like that dirtiness to it. It looks a little more defined. And then we're going to flip them around here, and we're going to get more closely to what Leo had with the shell. A lot less scratches on his, which I kind of like. Definitely makes each turtle feel different. He has to have pouches on the back for his nunchucks, which will hold both of them in both pouches. Pouches on the side as well. And then there's his little turtle butt going down the back of his legs. Got some muscles there. And then back to the wraps at the bottom of the feet with the heel cut out. That wash going over pretty heavy on the skin tone. And last up, we have Raph, who again is taller than Mikey, so I need to readjust the camera. There we go. So Raph has a similar mask, comes down to that kind of V shape, has some tattering. You've got the scowl line there. The teeth, the paint job on the teeth's a little rough on mine. You can see there, got some leaking into the white. And you go back to the mask around the back, got those really deep lines. And then there's no wash on the tails of the mask. It's not even the same color red again. Like, this is ridiculous. This, it annoys me. Something so simple. He's got a little less definition in his neckline. You go down the shoulders. He's a little beefier. Got some veins in the bicep there. And then we've got the darker, like grayish brown, charcoaly colored wraps. And going down to his fingers there. The chest plate has a lot more nicks and scratches. A little more broad than the other turtles. We've got the belt here, which has these little things on the front, which looks like they'd be where his sides go, but they aren't open. They're molded shut. And then we get to the legs. He's got a little more beef, a little more definition, bare knees. We've got that wrap going down to the toes, a little more painted under the bottom, unlike the other turtles. You get to the back of the head, you can see the spots all around there. And there we go on both sides. And then you have his shell, which has some nicks on it. You've got his sides and the little holsters in the back with the pouches on the belts. Got the back of his legs with those massive quads. Or no, those would be hamstrings, sorry. And then the wraps on the feet. So yeah, I'd say all four of them are pretty solid sculpts with some definite issues. The shoulder on my raft does pop out sometimes. If you mess, it's a little loose. So like you can see it just kind of flops around a little bit. It's not great. Like, I don't know. It's definitely some issues, but overall I kind of like him so far. On to articulations. All four turtles have the same articulation, so we're just going to use Donnie here. The head is, as you can see, again, stupid tails pop out. Those do rotate and have a little bit of tilt as well. You can see there, spin them around, but Donnie's, for whatever reason, does not like to stay in. It's very loose, so we're just going to leave that on the ground there. But the head is on a ball, so just a little bit of tilt, and then up and down. Nothing crazy, and you can spin it all the way around. And then arms, a little bit stiff, but you can get them. Come on. Come on, should probably have heated this up first, but we're going to risk it for the biscuit. There we go, about 90. And they do spin all the way around. You do have a butterfly joint in there. You have bicep swivel, goes all the way around. Double joint elbows. And then you have a itty bitty little wrist peg, so it does kind of, oh, as you can see, it pops right out. That's how tiny it is there. But it does go forward and back a decent amount, so you can get some range there. And then there is a torso joint, but even though the shell's softer, it doesn't really go very far. And then, oh, it just popped out there. Let me fix that. There we go. So like even with the legs bent forward, that's about as far as you can get. And you got a little bit of jiggle there at the hips, a little rotation. And then the legs go out, not quite to 90, but almost forward. And then you got the bicep, that's a thigh cut. We've got double jointed knees. And then we do have a pivot at the ankle, forward and back. It's very tight, it struggles with the forward though. And then twist around. So you can definitely get these guys in some great poses, but there are also some hindrances. Next up, we have some accessories. We're going to do each turtle at a time. So we have Leo's alt head, which he's very grumpy. Look at that frown. You got the yellow eyes, got a bunch of wash on that, like almost like a canker sore or something on his lip. It's weird. And then you've got some good detail on the mask. And again, Leo has the best paint job. Look at the wash in the tails to his mask. And his mask actually matches the color. Then we have an alternate set of gripping hands here. A set of kind of open palm, like grasping hands or grappling hands. We've got a tiny little baby katana. You get a set of these. And then you get a set of these normal katanas, which look nice. And then we get this cool slash effect to go with the katanas. And it's a little translucent and just pops right in like so. And now you can make them go like slash. Woo. Yeah, so then we go on to Donnie, who's all smiley and looks much happier. Got that nice bright purple, those orange eyes, got the green skin. His tails of his mask definitely match this color of his mask better. You've got a fist with that nice wrap around it. You've got like a pointing finger, I guess, or maybe he's doing the snap. He's like going full Thanos. He's just gonna get rid of half of the mutants. You do get a set of open like grappling hands, and then you get his bow staff. Bow staff, it looks okay. I wish it had more wash on it. And see, it doesn't really bring out much detail in the wraps or in the wood. So see, it's scraped up from me putting it in his hand, which sucks. And then there you got a little bit of detail in the wood. Then he does have these goggles, which are nice, have that silver. Pop this on here so you can see them on him. Here we go. And he's all smiley. You got the different color lenses. You got the 3 on one side. And then you have his wrist blaster gauntlet thing. All sorts of really cool sculpt in that silver and the light blues. We're gonna pop that on his fist like so. Just kind of slides on. Doesn't like pop in place or anything. Honestly, doesn't stay on very well. But there you go. Now he goes full Mega Man. Got the little eyes there. There we go. And then we have Mikey, who again has the best head sculpts out of the three. Look at that winky, like he looks so happy. You got the bright blue eyes. You've got this incredible like orange and the teal. You've got the tails to his mask. You've got these really terrible nunchucks. Like they look like two sausages being held together by some like metal cords. It's kind of weird. But then you get these really cool ones. So these ones got the blade on one side, but both have like this black with this orange strap, and you got the chains. So they are a lot nicer. You do have this pointing finger with the wraps around it and that teal skin. You've got the fists, which have the wrap going around them with a nice wash to bring out the details. And there's the fingers on the other side. And then you do have the like open grappling hands or like high five hands with the wraps going around the fingers. Last up, we have Raph, who right out the bat, you've got that lazy eye. That thing is like down on his cheek. He's got like even there's not even like any wash on his head. Then he does come with two sides, the red handle and the nice silver on the bottom and on the actual like side itself. Flip it around, same on both sides. He has these like police baton things, with the same kind of wood texture that Donnie had on his bow staff, but no wash. And then you do get 3 ninja stars, which is this nice silver, have a pretty good sculpt on them. And a little hole in the middle. Pop around that side and see both sides are about the same. But you get this kind of bandolier that he can wear, which looks great. It has some really good detail in it. And then they just pop into the little holsters, point first to come out the other side. Like so. And there you go. And then you can see some of the wrinkles and the textures throughout it. Like they did a lot of great work with the leather work on this. And then you just put his arm up and it slides right down over top like so. And now he's got a little bandolier full of ninja throwing stars. Here we go. Get that in the focus. So yeah, it just goes across his chest. You do have these sai holding hands, which the fingers don't move very well, so it is a pain to get the sais into them. Like, it takes a lot of work. I'm not going to show you on camera because I'm afraid I'll break it, but it is possible. I've done it. You do have the little grappling, like, open hands as well. And then you do have a ninja star throwing hand with a little, like, kind of pinch look into it. And then each shoulder come with little art cards. So you've got Leo's here with a picture of him and the logo and everything. The back has the figure, a little bio. And then you have Raph's, same thing, artwork on the front. Oh, I forgot to show you the back of them. And then you've got the figure and a little bio on the back. And there we go. And then we have Mikey's, same thing. Back's picture of the figure and the bio. And then unfortunately, I somehow managed to lose Donnie's in the time that I opened these. So just imagine it's here. All right, let's do a quick size comparison. So here are the turtles with each other. So Donnie and Raph are the closest in height. Leo's a little bit shorter, and Mikey's even shorter than him. Even then, Donnie's a little bit taller, but only by a hair from Raph. And there's the NECA Mirage Raphael, who's taller than all of them for size comparison there. Let's get him switched out with J.A. Toys Ryu. And see, even he's a little bit taller, about shoulder height, even at Donnie, a little bit higher than that. Get him switched out with Marvel Legends Jon Favreau. Again, Raph and Donnie are about shoulder height. The other two are about bicep height, a little bit shorter. Which I do kind of like the size comparison. We do have the G.I. Joe Classified Pimp Daddy Destro, who is a little bit cockeyed. There we go. You can see he's head and shoulders taller than all of them. So he's definitely a little bit bigger. And then, of course, with the big beefy boy, the Marvel Legends Build-A-Figure Armadillo. And I'd say even the taller two, Raph and Donnie, are maybe elbow or bicep level. Mikey and Leo are much shorter. Last up, we have the box art. So you'll see at the top, you got this gray with the Leonardo and Battle Ready Edition. Turtles look at the bottom, blue with the inner inside. You've got some artwork on the outsides. We have Leo there. Got some logos up at the top. And the bottom, you've got the barcode and some of that stuff on there. And on the back, you've got the figure and the bio and some of the accessories. And then all the warnings and no children allowed. And flip that back around. There we go. And then we have Donnie's, again, much the same. Donatello at the top, logo at the bottom, purple in the background. Get the artwork on the sides. And then window at the top, logos, UPC on the bottom. We got the figure, bio, accessories, warnings, no kids allowed. And then Mikey's, you've got Michelangelo at the top, Turtles logo at the bottom, orange inside, pictures on the sides there of the artwork, window at the top, logos on there, UPC on the bottom, flip it around, figure, bio, accessories, no kids allowed. And then Raph, we've got Raphael, Turtles logo, red in the background. We've got the artwork on the sides, each side there. And then you got the window and everything on top. You got the UPC on the bottom. Spin it around one last time. We've got the figure there, bio, accessories, and still no kids allowed. So yeah, they're okay. Okay, so overall, I'm pretty conflicted. I can't tell if I'm more favorable to these because I love the IDW Turtles so much that I want to like these, or if I actually like these. Because they definitely have a lot of flaws. The wash is a little too heavy, it isn't sealed properly, so when you articulate in certain areas, it scrapes off. The paint apps are pretty sloppy in some spots. Raph has that giant lazy eye where it's down on his cheek on the one head. The shoulders on Leo and Raph, and I assume all the turtles, but those are the only two that it happened to on me, where the like rotator cuff for the butterfly joint is pops out and or is, you know, all jacked up like Leo's is. There are a lot of issues here, but overall, I feel like the sculpts are really well done. I do feel like the legs are a little too veiny and muscularly, like they could have toned that down a little bit, but the shells, the faces, the wraps on the arms and legs, the different belts and stuff all look amazing. The weapons for the most part are great. The accessories are pretty awesome. I will say this. For the price point, it was worth it. Especially considering like you can either get for $10 less, you can get the normal versions that aren't going to have the wash and all the extra paint apps on them, and just get those if you want. But if you want ones that look slightly better, $10 more and you get it. Which if you're someone who is a customizer and you can do your own wash, I would strongly suggest just getting the $20 ones then, because then you can fix it up and make it look probably even better than these look. So I will say that I don't regret buying them, but they definitely could be better. And they are significantly better than other offerings from Loyal Subject in the past with this line. I have seen and heard so many horror stories with the Toon Turtles, so I went into this very, very skeptical, and I was pleasantly surprised. So if you're a fan of the IDW Turtles, until some other company like NECA maybe decides to do them, I'd say these are well worth it. But more importantly, let me know in the comments below what your thoughts and feelings are. If this swayed you one way or the other because you were on the fence, or if you've already picked them up and you have some strong opinions one way or the other as well. Also, make sure to stick around to the end of the video to see all the photos I took, and make sure to like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video. Helps us out, gets you tutorial related content in your feed, such as the reviews, the how to pose videos, the live streams, and the podcasts. Also, check us out over on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok at Modern Toy Fair. And if you're a fan of the channel, you can help support us by going down below to patreon.com/Modern Toy Fair. A bunch of different tiers with different options for rewards, everything from getting episodes of the podcast early, getting the ability to add your input into the episodes, and even getting physical prints of the photos I take. All sorts of different options, so we appreciate if you check that out. That's gonna be it for this week. Hopefully see you next week. Same toy time, same Toy Fair channel. Thank you for watching.